Hey, Tuvies, this is Psychic Bob. Well, here I am. I'm contemplating another piece of jewelry. You know, that's my obsession, is collecting jewelry. This is one of my little pinnacles I wore today. This goes nicely with this shirt. Oops, dropping it here. This is a beautiful little silver pinnacle. And in the middle, it's hard to see here, it's a little aquamarine stone in the middle of the pinnacle. Can you see that? Isn't that beautiful? It's a very pale aquamarine. But when I wear it with this shirt, the blue comes out nicely. So we got a big pinnacle with a pinnacle inside, a little pinnacle. I'm into pinnacle mode. How you like my shirt? I'm proudly proclaiming my Wiccan pride today. I tell you, I just got back from lunch. And, you know, whenever I wear this shirt in public, it's so interesting. Some people will look at it and then they freak out and they'll turn the other way and they'll go, oh my God, there's one of those people. Some people come up to me and go, oh my God, I can't believe you're openly being Wiccan. Thank you. You know, I get a real mix. Some people hate me. Some people love me. I actually have more love than hate. You know, people come and they say, wow, I'm a Wiccan and I've been wanting to be open. And when I see you wearing your Wiccan shirt, it makes me feel strong inside, makes me proud. And I'm really honored that I can be an open Wiccan. Yeah, I take my lumps sometimes for that. But you know what? More good comes from it than bad. And, you know, so today it's Wiccan Wednesday, and I had to wear my Wiccan shirt for Wiccan Wednesday. Well, anyways, you know, today, but actually before we get into that, let me first of all say thank you. Thank you to all the new subscribers. You guys are rocking. We've been having a lot of new people join. They're telling me how excited they are. Welcome to all the newbies here at Spirit Channel. You know, we're a big community here. So, you know, write comments in the box below. A lot of you start talking, you become friends also. And it's really nice. That's what we're about here. So welcome. I also want to say thank you to all of you who came into yesterday's video. We had a video which was messages from the spirit world. For all the new people, that is a weekly video I do every Tuesday where I answer psychic questions and do little mini readings for viewers. So if you want to, you know, see me in action as a psychic, check out yesterday's video, messages from the spirit world. All right, well, I'm so glad you're here. Like as I said, it's Wiccan Wednesday. And today we're going to continue talking about reincarnation. You know, on Monday I started this. We had part 1, and we talked about Shirley MacLaine and her explorations about when she first opened her mind to that concept. And I shared some of my early experiences as well. And, you know, when I started studying Wicca, this, as I told you, was the first book I ever bought, which was Wicca, A Guide for the Solitary Practitioner. And Scott Cunningham wrote a wonderful chapter. It's chapter 9, called The Spiral of Rebirth. So I thought we'd do a little reading from that today, because I think he says so very nicely what I want to talk about here. So, well, let me put on my glasses. You know, Psychic Bob might be Wiccan Wednesday, but I'm still half blind. All right. So, the spiral of rebirth. Reincarnation seems to be one of the most controversial spiritual topics of our time. Hundreds of books are being published on the subject, as if the Western world had only recently discovered this ancient doctrine. Reincarnation is one of Wicca's most valuable lessons. The knowledge that this life is but one of many. That when the physical body dies, we do not cease to exist, but are reborn in another body. Answers many questions, but raises a few more. Why? Why are we reincarnated? In common with many other religions, Wicca teaches that reincarnation is the instrument through which our souls are perfected. One lifetime isn't sufficient to attain this goal. Hence, the consciousness, soul, is reborn many times, each life encompassing a different set of lessons. until perfection is achieved. No one can say how many lives are required before this is accomplished. We are human, and it's easy to fall into non-evolutionary behavior. Greed, anger, jealousy, obsession, and all of our negative emotions inhibit our growth. In Wicca, we seek to strengthen our bodies, minds, and souls. We certainly live full, productive earthly lives, but we try to do so while harming none, the antithesis of competition, intimidation, and looking out for number one. The soul is ageless, sexless, non-physical, possessed of the divine spark of the goddess and the god. Each manifestation of the soul, i.e., each body it inhabits on earth, is different. No two bodies or lives are the same. If this wasn't so, the soul would stagnate. The sex, race, place of birth, economic class, and every other individuality of the soul is predetermined by its actions in past lives and the lessons necessary to the present. This is of utmost importance in Wiccan thought. We decide the lay of our lives. There's no god or curse or mysterious force of fate upon which we can thrust the responsibility for the trials in our lives. We decide what we need to learn in order to evolve, and then, it is hoped, during incarnation, work towards this progress. If not, we regress into darkness. This is very interesting. I'm going to pause just for a second because one of the things, as many of you know, if you follow the Saturday night seances, is that, my spirit guide, Alfred, talks about how since going to the light, he's really learned how much he inhibited his own growth in life and how much he went into that place of darkness. It's interesting because Scott Cunningham says here, if not, we regress into darkness. I think that's a spiritual truth because I know from my guides, Rose as well as Alfred, that upon their death, they didn't go to the grand glories of heaven. They went to places of darkness. And I think that's because you go to where you are most accustomed. If your soul rejects goodness and light and you cling to negativity, you draw to yourself that negativity. So just my 2 cents on that. I just find that's interesting. He says that. Okay, continue on. As an aid in learning the lessons of each life, a phenomena exists that has been called karma. Karma is often misunderstood. It's not a system of rewards and punishments, but a phenomena that guides the soul toward evolving actions. Thusly, if a person performs negative actions will be returned. Good brings good. With this in mind, there's little reason to act negatively. You see, I'm going to pause for a second there because I also think this is very important. I like his definition of karma. Everybody's like, oh, karma's going to get you, karma's going to get them. But really, karma helps us to grow. It's actually a tool. It's not a punishment. This is why, I get disappointed sometimes. I meet other people that are on the pagan path, and I'll say, oh, are you Wiccan? I'll see them wearing Pentacle. They say, oh, no, I'm a witch. And they'll say to me, I don't practice Wicca because Wicca is for the weak. Wiccans don't do black magic and curses. And I always think to myself, you really think you're getting ahead? That you're somehow more powerful because you can do a curse on somebody? See, karma tells us that if we harm people, we're only hurting ourselves. This is why in the Order of the Purple Cord, we don't practice black magic, and we forbid it. In fact, the membership requirement requires you to take an oath to uphold the Wiccan Rede, which means harm none, do as you will. So I'm glad he's talking about that. So there really is no reason to act negatively. Karma means action. I'm continuing on here. Karma means action, and that's how it works. It is a tool, not a punishment. There you go. There's no way one can wipe out karma, and neither is every seemingly terrible event in our lives a byproduct of karma. I think that's very important as well because, I have seen people play the victim. It's like, oh, well, there's nothing I can do. It's just my karma. When you're in the body and you have full possession of your faculties, meaning your mind is working, you are never a victim. Okay, I want you guys to remember that because this karma is often used as a scapegoat. People say, well, I just can't do anything. It's my karma. Not really. You can choose your fate. You can choose your destiny. And even if karma comes your way, you can negate that by making choices that put you on the better path. So I don't believe that you're a victim of karma. My 2 cents. All right, let me continue on. I get so excited about this, I have to stop and talk about it. We learn from karma only when we're aware of it. Many look into their past lives to discover their mistakes, to uncover the problems inhibiting progress in this one. Trance and meditation techniques can help here, but true self-knowledge is the best means of accomplishing this. Past life regression can be a dangerous thing, for much self-delusion exists here. I cannot tell you how many Cleopatras, King Arthurs, Merlins, Marys, Nefertitis, and other famous persons of the past I've met, walking around in high-top tennis shoes and jeans. Our conscious mind, seeking past incarnations, easily hold on to such romantic ideals. I'm going to pause again, and I just have to comment on that. As a psychic, I do readings for people every day, and sometimes when I tell some people about their past lives, they look at me and they're like, I was a housewife in Des Moines, and that's an exciting life, and they get disappointed. I said, well, not every life's going to be grand and dramatic. Sometimes the best lives are the simplest, most everyday lives. That's where you master daily living, you see. But a lot of people don't want that. They want to hear that they, were some great hero who saved 10,000 people from destruction. And I'll tell you, as a psychic, a lot of people's lives are just ordinary. So, anyways, I have to agree with Scott on this. Okay. Continuing on here. He says, if this becomes a problem, if you don't wish to know your past lives, or lack the means to discover them, look at this life. Now that's very important. You can learn everything of relevance about your past lives by examining this life. If you've cleared up problems in previous existences, they're of no concern to you today. If you haven't, the same problems will reappear. So, look at this life. At night, study your day's action, noting both positive, helpful actions and thoughts, as well as the negative. Then look at the past week, the past year, the past decade. Refer to diaries, journals, or old letters, if you've kept them to refresh your memory. Do you continually make the same mistakes? If so, vow to never repeat them in a ritual of your own design. At your altar or shrine, you might write such mistakes on a piece of paper. Your entries could include negative emotions, fear, indulgence without balance, allowing others to control your life, endless love obsessions with men or women who are indifferent to your feelings. As you write these, visualize yourself doing these things in the past, not the present. Then light a red candle, hold the paper in its flame, and throw it into a cauldron or some other heat-proof container. Scream or shout, or simply affirm to yourself that such past actions are no longer a part of you. Visualize your future devoid of such harmful, limiting, inhibiting behavior. Repeat the spell as necessary, perhaps on nights of the waning moon, to finalize the destruction of these negative aspects of your life. If you ritualize your determination to progress in this life, your vow will vibrate with strength. When you're tempted to fall into your old negative modes of thinking or action, recall the ritual and overcome the urge with its power. I'm going to stop there for a second. I think Scott is absolutely right. I love to do readings and past life readings for people. But some people say, well, Psyche Bob, I don't have the money to come for a reading. Can you at least get me on the right path? And I think Scott Cunningham's advice here is wonderful. If you can start every day evaluating your life and write down a little journal, you'll start to see your patterns. And really, if you examine this life, you're going to know where you come from. You're going to know what your karma is, what you're working out. And if you do this ritual of burning the paper through a candle, a candle flame of a red candle, and then throw it into your cauldron, you release that. It's a conscious energy release. See, fire and intent together create change. So you can do that very simple ritual that I just read and create change and learn about your soul. I think it's wonderful. So if you want to, work on knowing yourself, start a journal, you see. Know your actions, review your day. What are you working on? You see, that's my question. What are you working on? Then you'll know what you come back here for, what you didn't finish last time. What happens after death? This is Scott Cunningham. What happens after death? Only the body dies. The soul lives on. Some Wiccans say that it journeys to a realm variously known as the land of the fairy, the shining land, and the land of the young. This realm is neither heaven nor the underworld. It simply is a non-physical reality, much less dense than ours. Some Wiccan traditions describe it as a land of eternal summer, with grassy fields and sweet flowing rivers, perhaps the earth before the advent of humans. Others see it vaguely as a realm without forms, where energy swirls coexist with the greatest energies, the goddess and god in their celestial identities. The soul is said to review the past life, perhaps through some mysterious way with the deities. This isn't a judgment, a weighing of one's soul, but an incarnational review. Lessons learned or ignored are brought to light. After the proper time, when the conditions on earth are correct, the soul is reincarnated and life begins again. You see, this journey of life is not without meaning. There are a lot of atheists today. I won't name their names. You know who they are. They think they're so wise, and they spend their careers literally trying to destroy people of belief in the soul. These people, too, will someday wake up and find themselves in the light, and they'll have their review. A lot of them will see how much joy they missed out on in life by attacking people of faith. But you see, we of the Wicca, we can be at peace. You know, this incarnational review, I went through it when I had my near-death experience. It literally was like that quick. But inside of that snap, I saw every single second of my life up to the point of that car accident. You know, they say, you know, your life flashes before your eyes when you're near death. It really is true. It happened to me. And in that moment of that, it's literally that quick. You see and know everything. It's amazing. We can't fathom in our conscious minds that we could process an entire lifetime, every single minute of every day in that quick, but we can in our spirit. And one of the things that I learned when I was in the presence of the light, which was the divine, I even hate to use the word God because it's bigger than that term. I just call it the light, is how loved we are. It's really true. We're not judged. We are not judged, but we do judge ourselves. And when you're in the light, you see all your actions. You see all your motivations. And this is something I want to say, you know, intent counts for a lot over there. You might mess things up and screw things up and do everything wrong in this life. But God asked, what is your intent? If your intent was to do something good, then you get the benefits of that intent. You see, so we must be very careful how we judge. Particularly, we should not judge others, nor ourselves, really. We should love ourselves. You know, also I want to say some people come to me in great anxiety and fear, and they say, Bob, I'm behind in life. I haven't fulfilled my mission. I know I was called to do greater things, and yet somehow I'm falling behind. Will God judge me? Is the spirit going to turn against me? Have I failed? No, you haven't failed. The very fact that you worry about the state of your soul already means you're on the right path. So if you're saying, am I being good enough? Have I done enough in my life? That means you're really trying to be there. It's the people who don't even care. They're the ones who fail. You know, one of the things I like to say is don't be harsh on yourself, because anything that you do spiritually is never really lost. So even if you feel like you missed some major marks, that's what reincarnation's for. You'll get to go back, review it, figure out what went wrong. And if you want, and like the book says, when the timing is right, you'll come and do it again. So remember, there are chances to grow and to learn. Oh, of course, we should try to do as much as we can in this lifetime. But what you can't do, don't stress it. Know that you're trying your best. And remember, through all of this, laugh a little and have fun. Don't be so serious. Yeah, life is serious and it's important. But life is also meant to be fun and joyful. And like I've heard many Wiccans say, all things with mirth and reverence. See, we all remember the reverence. Oh, we got to be serious, got to, make sure everything's perfect. But we forget the mirth. So I want you to remember that in this incarnation, make it a fun time, make it a joyful time. And if you make it joyful, you're going to have love in your heart. And if you have love in your heart, you're going to love others. And if you love others, others are going to love you. And it creates a cycle and energy, a spiral. You know, the spiral is a sacred symbol. That also doesn't just mean the goddess creating the universe, like a lot of people say. It also is the spiral of our own love going out and circling back to us as well. So you see, the power is within. Lighten up, have fun on the journey, and make it the best that you can be. So anyways, if you want to learn more about this subject matter and Wicca and reincarnation, I really suggest this book by Scott Cunningham, Wicca, A Guide for the Solitary. It's just a great book and you won't miss it. Anyway, so tell me in the box below, what are your thoughts on reincarnation? Have you done any self-evaluation? Tell me what you're discovering. Maybe you've had a dream, a recurring dream. That's another way to look at your past lives. You see? So you can also, part of your work, make your intention that you will ask the Spirit to give you dreams to show you your past lives. Anyways, I hope this gives you a little more things to think about, a few more things to ponder on. And I'm just so glad you're here. I hope that you'll keep it here at Spirit Channel. I hope you'll like this favorite, share it with your friends. Let's get out the word about Spirit Channel and the work and the community we have here. And if you haven't done so, hit subscribe. Be part of our scene. We'd love it. All right, guys. Listen, I'm going to get off here. I'm so glad you're here. Listen, be here tomorrow for Thursday. We're going to have Zodiac Thursday, and you don't want to miss it. All right, we'll see you then. Blessed be.